Hey everybody, this is Levi Clay and I'm back again with another edition of Guitar Books That You Must Own. And actually, in looking at this book, I've realised that many of the books that I have recommended in this series of guitar books that you must own aren't really limited to guitar players, and this is one more in that ilk. This is Building a Jazz Vocabulary by Mike Steinel. Now, I picked this book up maybe 18 months ago, and as you may guess, there's no tab found in this book, despite the fact there is actually a picture of a guitar on the cover. There's also a trumpet and a saxophone. This kind of fits in the same sort of territory as the Bebop Bible that we talked about, only this one contains more written material, and it talks about, well, it covers a lot of things. Just to whiz you through some of these ideas, it talks about cells. It's the main concept that I've practiced from this book. Cells and permutations of cells. So cells that are chord-based, scale-based, chromatic, pentatonic, and how we can apply those to harmony using formula applied to cells. So taking a cell such as 1 2 3 1, turning that into 1 2 flat 3 1, 1 flat 2 flat 3 1, and I guess I could call these out 1 2 3 1, or C D E C would fit over a C major chord, C D E flat C flat 3 would fit over a minor chord, 1 flat 2 flat 3 1 is going to fit over I guess a Phrygian context, though it would work over an altered chord as well. Having that sort of understanding of these smaller bits of vocabulary is a great way to break apart the playing of the great jazz players. So when I look at this page where we talk about how a cell is characteristically used in solos, it all sounds very academic, and I guess it is very academic and not really the way that I imagine a player like Miles Davis would have practiced. But to look at an idea like a 1-3-5-7 arpeggio cell, and to be able to play the retrograde of that, or the inversion of the retrograde inversion, and then be able to apply that same sort of concept to various cells, is a really kind of fun way of exploring the things that you understand on the neck and learning more ideas from those. There's great long examples in the book, pages and pages long. Here we're just talking about playing these basic cells and applying them to a chord. So there's a good, 16 bars of D minor 7, then 8 bars of E flat, and then more D minor 7. And this is played in for multiple keyed instruments, or transposing instruments I should say. So they're notated in the keys of B flat and E flat, but that means that we can read them again as guitar players because we'll just get different notes. As you go through the book, you get more and more about the idea of intervals and application of triads to form lines. This really is quite a dense book, seventh chords and ideas like that. And I actually believe I referenced it earlier on in this series where I talked about, this really is a fun book, approach tones and things like that, ornamentation, pentatonic scales and application of those things. I talked about this book actually earlier where we talked about John Coltrane and giant steps. So here we have John Coltrane and the countdown vocabulary. Now this is, I was sure it was giant steps, but I guess countdown, it's the same chord progression. It builds on Coltrane's vocabulary on the tune Countdown and analyzes it in a way that lets you see how common this vocabulary is. So there are 128 major chords played in the solo, 88 dominant 7 chords and 40 minor 7 chords. Obviously they're repeating ones, and it breaks down these little melodic ideas. So here's a melodic cell, C, D, E, G, and it tells you that fragment, C, D, E, G, is played 26 times in the solo. Playing that backwards, G, E, D, C, is played 11 times during the solo. An ascending arpeggio, E, G, C, E, is played 11 times. There's a fragment that he plays that's, I guess, kind of a scale. You've got G, F, E, D, C, D, E, and then back up to the G. That fragment is 8 notes long, but it's played in its entirety 7 times in the solo. And I found that actually very fascinating, because when I listen to a great saxophone, bebop era or hard bop era saxophone player, you do hear melodic fragments over and over again, especially on a tune like Giant Steps, where that's a big way to play over it. Now this concept has been expanded upon in great detail in the works of Jerry Bergonzi and the likes, but this is a great entry into the subject of building a jazz vocabulary from a very academic perspective. Maybe that's something you're interested in, maybe it's not. I really enjoyed this book though. It was a nice read, and although I've not mastered the material contained within, it definitely inspired a lot of good practice sessions, and hopefully it's going to continue to come out in my playing. So pick yourself up a copy via the link to Amazon below. Finally, if you want to check out my Patreon account and help support this channel, you'll also find a link to that below. In fact, these gentlemen on the screen now have very kindly supported my channel over on Patreon at a $10 tier. I really appreciate your help, guys. You're obviously helping me to create more videos. If you want to be on this list, you can join up at my Patreon and get lots of goodies like my monthly transcription challenge. I give exclusive downloads and things to my Patreon guys, and if you are looking at it and thinking, well, really is no point me helping out with $1, it's not really helping anyone, it makes a big difference. $1 is, I admit, $1 a month is insignificant to me, but if there are 100 or 1,000 people all helping out this content with $1, it actually makes a massive difference. So support people, support artists and content creators that you enjoy. I support a fair few artists myself on Patreon, and you'll keep getting great content that you love. Peace out, guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.